Hi there. I'm the Reverend Chris Barber, and I'm reaching out to our Academy family for my usual Tuesday hello. Um, I was thinking about this, and we do these because we usually get together as a school and have chapel every morning. It's such an important part of our life, our spiritual mission at the Academy, and to lose it because we are home, locked out, on stay-at-home orders, that that seems really sad and like we're missing out on something really important that we offer at the Academy. And so we continue to do these. And I have to admit, there's something lovely about the scenery that I'm able to have. Ever since I moved outside, Mr. Halterman's inspired me to move outside so much that I'm even outside in the rain. Now you'll note I've got a bit of a thing here, like a sling running across. And that's because I actually have my dog with me. He does not like the rain. He doesn't like it whether I'm inside or out, so I'm not torturing him by bringing him out. But he's in a little sling right now. There he is. Yes, I know. See? Hey, Boo. Can you see the camera? He can not see the camera, but he's still super cute. Anyway, so he's around my neck right now, just sort of hanging out with his little feet up. And so if you see me looking down and being distracted, it's because my dog is cuter than my phone. I've been thinking a lot I think a lot. I just think a lot. I always think a lot. And that's one of the hallmarks of people is that we think a lot. And that's because it's something that the Lord has given us. The Lord has given us a will and an intellect, an ability to desire and feel, and an ability to think things through and plan. That's something that God has given us. In fact, it's through that He does the work of changing us from being limited natural people to being spiritual people who have access to all things in Him. It's by means of that intellect that we have that is used in conjunction with that will that we have. And the Lord created this in us, and He gave it to us so that we would use it, and so that we would use it wisely, use them wisely, use that pair wisely. And if we don't use them wisely, He can't actually step in and fix that. See, the Lord has given us an intellect so that we use it, so that we live in ways that speak of the best of our rationality, and He protects our freedom to use it how we will. Recently, I've gotten a number of questions, and at the top of that list is, why does God let bad things happen? And the reality is, bad things happen in this world because this world is flawed. We're not in heaven. We're not in the spiritual world where things can happen more perfectly. But also the Lord lets bad things happen because He's protecting something. He's protecting our freedom. He's protecting our freedom to make bad decisions. Because if we don't have the freedom to make bad decisions, we certainly don't have the freedom to make good ones. And this is something that we read in His Word in a book here that I've got. Divine Providence is the one that I'll be leaning on. This is a 2-for-1 in this book. And in the book Divine Providence, the Lord talks about how the first thing that He protects about us is our ability to act in freedom in accordance with our reason, to live freely and to do things that we want, and to do that based on our best understanding of what things are. And it says here in Divine Providence that we have a capacity for disciplined thought and a certain latitude or rationality and freedom. And these two abilities are in us as gifts from the Lord. Whatever we do from our freedom, whether we have thought it through rationally or not, seems to be ours as long as it is in accord with our reason. Whatever we've done from our freedom in accord with our thinking becomes a permanent part of us. It is by means of these two abilities that the Lord reforms and regenerates us. Without them, we could not be reformed and regenerated. We can be reformed and regenerated by means of these two abilities to the extent that we are brought to a realization that anything good and true that we think and do comes from the Lord and not us. The Lord's union with us and our responsive union with the Lord comes about by means of these two abilities. Through the whole course of His divine providence, the Lord protects these two abilities untouched within us, as though they were sacred. This is why it is integral to divine providence that we act from freedom and in accord with reason. In this time of quarantine and unrest at times as we sit at home, in this time of uncertainty as to how long we will be stuck out of our workplaces or wondering when we'll be able to find work again, in these times it can lead us to act in ways that aren't necessarily in accord with the best of our rationality. I am speaking from the word here when I say that the Lord has given us the ability to make our best decisions according to the best of our knowledge. And that means leaning on the experts that we have in the world around us, leaning on the best intelligence that we have at the time, and humbling ourselves before that. It's hard. I'm very tempted to go out and to see people and to do things that maybe aren't in accordance with the best expectations of social distancing and quarantine and stay-at-home orders. But the reality is, the Lord has given us the ability and has given me the ability to do better because I know better. This is something that the Lord expects us to do. He needs us to do it because He's not going to step in and make us not do things that are not good. He's not going to step in and tell us, like He's not going to stand in our way as we leave our houses and say, no, that's probably not a good idea. The Lord respects our freedom. He respects it enough to let us do things that aren't in accordance with our best intellect. He also loves it enough to let us use it to be our best selves. This is something that is essential to his plan to build a heaven from the human race. He protects our freedom, so let us use it wisely. Thanks, folks. Good to see you. Maybe it wasn't the best of my intellect to come out here in the rain because now my book is soaked. But this is the nicest time for this tree, and I wasn't going to pass up this opportunity to say hello to you under the beauty of whatever this pink thing is. Take care, folks.